Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. Under this video I would like to discuss OMG Network, how it's currently performing and how it will be performing during the upcoming days. But as well, if you could follow me on Twitter at ThoroughCrypto, it will be highly appreciated. You will be kept up to date about all upcoming development and you will also be seeing my tweets. So that is highly appreciated if you could follow me on Twitter. But let's get started on OMG Network. What you can clearly see and what I would like to discuss is actually that we have been inside of a downtrend. We have seen this lower lows getting created. That this is for sure something that does not look absolutely marvelous. But what else are we seeing? If we take a look at the thin white line that I've drawn, that is a level of support and resistance. And in the past we can clearly see that we got rejected by this level as a level of resistance. We found support on top of it for a while. We saw resistance underneath. And if we take a look at right now, what we can clearly see is that a couple of weeks ago or months we were also rejected at this point. So we were rejected at this range. Therefore this is a major range of support underneath us, what I personally think will be very likely that we are going to reach within the upcoming hours. Well, this being said, I would like to take a look on the 4-hourly time frame at what we are seeing on the RSI. And what I personally think is actually quite good to know is that if we take a look at the RSI, we are clearly creating, in comparison to our prior low, a lower low on the chart. So we are creating a lower low. I will be drawing this by placing an arrow. We are creating a lower low on the chart, but we are clearly seeing a higher low on the RSI. This is a confirmed bullish divergence, and what this is actually telling us, it is that it's very likely that we are going to hold strong on top of this $11 range. I personally think it is likely that we're going to see a minor decline in price action, but that we are going to hold strong on top of this level. As well, what I would like to take a look at is the RSI on the 1-hourly time frame. If we take a look at the 1-hourly time frame, what you can clearly see over here is that we have been creating these lower highs on the chart, but we have been creating ever since this point in time as well higher highs on the RSI. This is absolutely telling us that we are seeing a bearish divergence on the 1-hourly time frame, and I personally think that this for sure will have influence in the immediate short term, and therefore I think the $11 range at the thin white line is very likely to get reached. So this is something you want to take into consideration. What is actually very important to me is that if we do not hold strong on top of this $11 range at the thin white line, we will for sure see a major breakdown heading further down once towards the $9.60. Why is this the case? Because if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame once more, you can clearly see that at this point in time we traded for quite a while. We saw a lot of accumulation in these ranges, and therefore we were rejected multiple times. We found support on top of this 0.618 Fibonacci multiple times, and I think this is actually a major stronghold down below. If we are not able to hold strong on top of the $11 range, that is something you have to take into consideration right now, because this might be one of the possibilities if we are going to see a further decline. But fortunately we are seeing a bullish divergence on the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame, and I think that is actually going to help us hold strong on top of the $11 range. Perhaps we are going to see a minor decline in price action due to the fact that we have seen bearish divergence on the RSI 1-hourly, but for sure I think the $11 range is your stronghold right now. If we take a look at the MACD, what you can clearly see is that we experienced a crossover several hours ago. We are right now experiencing momentum towards the upside, but we have not seen a major increase in price action. What I personally would like to see is a even further increase in price action, holding strong on top of 0.5 at $11.61. But as we saw and we discussed previously, that bearish divergence on the 1-hourly time frame might have a lot of influence right now, and could perhaps be the reason why we're going to see OMG Network head towards the $11 and head straight back up afterwards, finding support on top of it 0.5 Fibonacci at $11.61, and head towards the upside after a period of accumulation in within these ranges. This being said, I would like to take a look at the 1-hourly MACD. What you can clearly see is that we have experienced a lot of upward momentum during the past couple of hours, and we have clearly seen a momentum decline. We have seen a lot of momentum loss. Therefore I think a crossover towards the downside is actually quite likely, and this could mean that we are going to see, well, that $11 range getting reached, but afterwards I think a major stronghold of support will be found, and that will be also absolutely important. Otherwise, we could be heading towards the $9.60 range, something that I personally think would be quite bad for the overall trend. But right now, it looks like we are going to find a stronghold where we are currently trading at. Also, if we enable the EMA ribbon, what you can clearly see is that we are right now retesting the EMA ribbon for the very first time after quite a long period of time. Therefore, I personally think that we are not going to be able to break out above it, and that we are going to experience a minor momentum of loss instead of being able to break out above it, find support on top of it, and see a major increase afterwards. On the 4-hourly time frame, the EMA ribbon does actually serve as a level of resistance above us as well. And what you can clearly see is that if we see a major increase, we have to break out above the EMA ribbon, and I think that is actually something quite unlikely to occur. Therefore, right now on OMG Network, what I think is the most important things you have to consider is that we have to stay on top of the $11 range. And if you are a holder right now, do not forget that if we are breaking down below the $11 range, right over here, the $9.60 range is very likely to get reached if we are not able to hold strong on top of this area. What I personally think is that we are going to actually be able to hold strong. We are going to see a few retests of the EMA ribbon as a level of resistance, and afterwards, perhaps after a period of consolidation in between the $11 and the $11.61, we are going to see a further increase towards the upside, or perhaps a further decrease, but right now it has to hold strong on top of the $11 range. Thank you very much for watching, and if you do like the content, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below, and as well follow me on Twitter at ThoroCrypto. Thank you very much and have a nice day.